A thread by Soul War. Thomas Wichter asks, what will President Trump do to respond to the Democrats' power grab? Link in the thread, What Will Trump Do by Thomas Wichter. I've covered what I think happened in the last two threads on November 3rd and what the Democrats, the mainstream media, and big tech have done since to try and make Biden our president. Thomas, Brian, and I believe that Trump, the US military, the Department of Homeland Security, and CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency recently created by Trump, were in position to see and record what happened, catching the Democrats cold, committing flat out treason. They're done. So Thomas's question is, should Trump reveal everything the Democrats did? Because that would destroy the Democrat Party, and that destruction might tear America apart. Sedition, treason, nullifying the votes of 71 million fellow Americans in an unprecedented act of infamy. You could consider that act, if proven, as an act of war against our republic. The Democrat Party could not plead ignorance either. They worked months extending lockdowns and padding death counts from COVID to justify those lockdowns, to push mail-in voting, to set up this power grab. But they even flubbed that up. They thought their much-lauded blue wave would usher Biden into power. They began to believe their own bullshit and failed to pad their numbers enough with illegal ballots in those key states. So, when a red wave showed up, they realized they were hundreds of thousands of ballots short. So they stopped counting ballots. Then, in the wee hours of the morning, they miraculously found those ballots in two states, Michigan and Pennsylvania. This was after the cutoff time, and they counted them anyway. Everything we are seeing shows that the Democrat Party was, as a party, involved in and planning this out. They have prepared what is perhaps the greatest criminal act in American history. And they've been caught. So, should President Trump reveal all to us, or, as an alternative, use the evidence to force the Democrats to concede? He flips states red via the courts. He is reaffirmed as president, but the most damning and damaging evidence of what they did and how are never revealed for the good of the nation. Here's my response: reveal everything. This act was worse than the Civil War. Why? The South tried to secede from the Union. The Democrats just enacted a long schemed out plan to steal the Union, the authority to govern it, in the middle of the night. When you realize the depths and lengths they went to with the lockdowns, COVID deaths padded, etc., and the push for mail-in ballots, it's a hideous crime. We are now to be gaslit by stories like this, as the mainstream media and big tech do everything possible to convince us it's over. We will see weeks of this, a campaign to try and force us to cry uncle as the jackals cackle and gloat and Trump golfs. Wait, what? From CNN, First Lady Melania Trump is among those telling President Trump to accept the election loss. Yep. He's golfing because the Democrats are well and truly caught. The mainstream media and big tech think they're calling the race for Beijing Joe settles the election. They're deluding themselves. Watch them try every possible angle to try and force Trump to concede, and fail as he smiles. They have no power over him. As they demand he quit, he's biding his time, waiting for them to relax, sure in their victory, convinced he'll be tied up in court until they finally pressure the GOP and his supporters to abandon him. I told you they're deluded. President Lincoln told General Grant to let him up easy, meaning the South. Confederates had to take a loyalty oath to rejoin the Union, and that was that. Calls for the hangings of Lee and Jefferson Davis were ignored. Reconciliation was possible and desired. That was then. Southerners fought openly and honestly. When defeated by force of arms, they relented and reconciled. America in 2020 will have no such reconciliation, for it would not be in good faith. We are not the ones tainted by infamy. Almost all Democrats are wildly cheering Trump's ouster. If shown hard evidence, proof of massive vote fraud, they wouldn't care. And in fact, many wouldn't believe hard proof. Demoralized in this regard does not mean morale. It means no morals or ethics. Facts don't matter to them, only ideology. Unreachable and hostile. Write them off. Ideologues can exist, but ideologues in authority over my life should be intolerable to any American. Deny them power. I don't want to come together with people who've been programmed to see any unwoke American as an enemy of their wacko revolution. So show us, Mr. President, show us everything they did. Let the Democrat Party collapse as we move forward and upwards towards a better tomorrow, free of their lies and designs upon our freedoms. Let them wander until, under new moral leadership, they can retake their place as a loyal opposition party once again. None of what you are seeing right now is real. The mainstream media, big tech, Rhino GOP, they are all yammering at us and each other, trying to talk a new false reality into existence. Are you convinced? Do you think President Trump is? Get ready to watch their vile dreams die before your eyes. When this tsunami of justice hits, it will be unstoppable. A failure cascade will begin. The Democrats and their cronies can't withstand, much less stop. They have escalated everything to this point. They are acting like they've won it all. So you're going to see them lose it all. As I laugh, munch popcorn, and prepare for the Americana rising the Democrats went all in to prevent us from achieving. Suckers never should have stood a chance, really. Talked, lied, really. So much they thought their lies meant something. Not to Trump, and not to America's future. To donate any amount and support Brent Cates' works, donate any amount at paypal.me/Brent Cates, and also take a look, link in the thread to the Americana Rising Teespring store.